Okay, so this is what my puppy has done to my slippers. It's literally gone. Jackson, Jackson, why have you destroyed my slippers? Can you tell me?
Yeah.
It's not funny. He's literally destroyed it that I had to get another pair. Jackson, Jackson, and he thinks it's a game. If I try to take it, give it to me, give it to me. You little snake, you. Come here, give it to me. Okay. Gotcha. Let it go. You're making a mess for me to clean up. You win. You can have it. Just don't touch these, otherwise you're going to be in serious problems, mister. Are you hearing me? I put a light on so everybody can see how naughty you are. Look, you're chewing it up. It's into pieces on the floor. You're making a mess. Oi. Just don't touch the other ones. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems. We'll have to have a meeting about it. You listening to me? Alright, so I've sewn a strip together, or strips together, in order to make this no pattern just so block. And my light here is 2 inches. My purple, 2 inches, 2.5 for 2 inches. What I have done is just chose the thinner strips in collaboration with the floral strips here. So I've selected colors that I think will work here, just to make sure the tone is correct. Alright, you can sew them together in any order that you like. What I am going to do though is definitely give it a good old press so that it's flat. And again, I'm not using a hot iron. It's on green, so it's just warm. It is giving me a little bit of steam. Okay, so the only thing I have done here is literally not put that seam line against towards me, because I don't want it to peep through as normal. Alright, so okay, so that's fine. I'm not too fussed about getting it too straight at this point. And I'm going to use my triangular ruler here. What I would say though, let me just go over this at the front here, is to make sure that the front is really flat, because as you would know by now, you do get the creases where the seam line is. It tends to fold over, and so to get the more, make sure that the block is accurate, just make sure you open it all up. Alright, so I'm happy with that now. So I'm going to take my triangular template here again, and I'm going to cut. Now I do want to get the white in, so I'm going to turn it just so where I can make sure I get the white in. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold. Carl came back from his work trip and brought the cold back, and I'm not happy about that at all, trust me. I hate having a cold or a runny nose. It's just the worst thing ever. Anyway, so I do want the white in there, and I do want the blue. So I don't want to go all the way down and just have a little peak at the top. I do want to have a little bit more. So I'm just trying to get it balanced. Okay, I mean, if you want to go all the way down just to ensure your cuts is fine, then it doesn't really matter. So you can just go all the way down consistently, and that way you don't have to always try and get the same measurements, because at this point what I'm saying is that because the strip is bigger than the template, I want to adjust it so that I get more of the white of fabric in. Okay, but if you want, you can just measure it down below here, so bring it right down to the edge of the blue strip, and that way you don't have to worry about making sure you get the measurement correct. All right, so saying that, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at the end because I haven't got much on the strip and I'm not sure how much I'm going to get, so I'm going to try and get as much as possible from it. So I'm going to go close to the end and cut as usual. I was trying not to, but I think I'm going to have to turn the fabric because I'm not very strong cutting on that arm like that. So I'm going to have to twist it up just to be on the safe side. Oh, and that's wrong. Just as well, I noticed that. Okay, so that's one cut. So it's very similar to what we did with the first one, and I can see I have a little bit of a jagged edge from trying to cut it properly. So I'm just gonna make sure I can get that strip away. All right, so lovely clean edge now. Okay, so again now this way. I'm only measuring because, again, I'm just being a little bit fussy cutting because I want to get as much as possible of the light in. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to make sure I get it correct. As I said, you don't have to do it this way. You can just cut it from the level at the bottom, and you know, your fussy cutting literally is not really a major issue. So right, so what I'm going to do, because I am trying to fussy cut, I have to make sure I will then eventually put them together like so and stack it on top, because I want the bottom to be lined up. As it is, it's bigger than the triangle, you know, and just stack it. So like so, and just stack it across. I know all of it is of the same size now. All right, so I hope you get that. As I said, you don't have to fussy cut it like I am. You could just simply cut as normal. So now I'm going to get the original cut. So if you notice, they are different. So I have some with the tip blue and the bottom white, and I have the blue at the bottom and the white at the top. So they're different cuts. All right, so just separate them there. So I will continue to do that, and then I will come back and show you how to lay the block out. All right, so as you can see, I've taken both separate cuts and make them into a circle. All right, now if you wanted to, you can make this as an individual table topper, both of them, or if you wanted to, you can join them together. So excuse me, I have two pieces left, but they are of different cuts. My idea is to slot them in like so in between there, so I can make a long table runner with it. All right, however, I think because the edges are not, I mean, on the camera looking at it, it looks ideal, it looks fine, but I'm thinking to remove these and just use the leftover of this to bring the whole color concept together. And I think that might be better. Or, I mean, this is enough. This is even enough. If I cut it in half and join it, it will be enough to probably give me one, not two. And I think I've got an extra bit of this fabric left, so I should be able to get two of it. All right, so I could do that, or I could just get 2 pieces of the end fabric here, so the blue and the lightish pinkish fabric here, and make them into a square and sew it together just like I would this one, but on one side would be blue and one side would be pink, if that makes sense. All right, so hopefully you're getting my visual with this. So that's the idea. So you could leave it individually, as I said. Notice the purple has changed. I didn't have enough of this particular one I started with, but I don't mind. It's a sort of a scrappy looking affair, and I like the colors, so it's okay. So hence the reason why I said it could be an individual table topper, so you have 2 separate projects, or you use this as is and make it into a table runner, or you just get the background color of these ones here and join them, again cutting it into the triangle, or using the main fabric, again cutting it as a triangle, and that way you have a table runner. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, to be honest. I do like the idea of it being an individual table topper. I think it looks really nice as it is, but I also like the idea of joining it together, which gives it a nice cohesive look together. As to whether or not I just use one background color and join it, or I mix it, that is yet to be decided. But this is where my brain is going to stop, so I'm going to take a little break and think about it. I like to do that because sometimes when you rush it in making a decision, that's when you're like, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. So I'm going to leave it for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and just ponder on it a little bit, and then I'll decide on where I want to go with it. So hopefully you're probably coming up with your own ideas by now, saying, well, I will do this and I will do that. So jot them down below of what you think I should have done or what you would have done. It's good to have this sort of open dialogue, so we know how we're thinking and how we can move along with the project. And again, so no pattern, just sewing, and this is where the creativity comes in. Allows you to think beyond your design and how you can make it up. So I have 3 options. I can even just add a white background there and then border the whole thing yet again. So it just gives you some ideas of how you want to work with it. All right, so I'm going to take my 20 minutes break and come back with a decision. Alright, so they're both quilted now. As you can tell, I did them individually. So I've put it on there with some batting, quilted. What I'm going to do now is just cut all the way around. I'm going to cut off the dog ears as well, making it a nice circle. Once I've done that, then I'm simply just going to bind and show you the completed item.